Hello and welcome back to the pod. I've got a very, very exciting guest on with me today. I've got the gorgeous Lucie Macleod. Hi, Lucie.
Hi.
Welcome. Are you comfy in your seat?
Do you know what? The urge to put this seatbelt on.
I know.
It's really weird. I feel like it
feels illegal to not have the seatbelt on.
I know.
When I'm speaking.
When I sat down, I was like, oh,
we need to be strapped in. So little intro to Lucie. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Lucie, but I've done my research. So Lucie is the founder of Hair Syrup, which was founded in 2020 when you were 21 years old. Lucie began experimenting with natural hair oil blends in her kitchen. And you basically have got the brand now to about 415,000 followers. Is that correct? You're like, is that right?
Just on TikTok.
Crazy.
Yeah.
In 2024, I feel like everyone knows this now, Lucie went on to Dragon's Den. She was declined to invest, but I've got on here, this year's sales reach 5 million up from 1.4 in 2023. Confirm or deny?
Oh God, now you're testing
Numbers,
me.
maths.
We closed last year on 5 mil, but
amazing.
The year, this financial year, then it's going to be more. So
insane. And I've got on here, you've also just made it onto the list of the 100 fastest growing founder-led businesses.
Yeah, so we're actually the fastest, according to the Sunday Times. According to the Sunday Times, we are the fastest growing beauty company in the UK.
How does that feel?
Insane.
Does it?
Yeah, well, someone worked it out for me the other day because I was 13th on the list.
Yeah.
And which is just incredible as it was. And then I realised when I looked at the categories that, it was actually Brad, the guy who does my PR, he realised that I was the first. There was no other beauty brands above me. So there was food, there was fashion. But I was the fastest growing beauty company in the UK. So.
Insane.
Yeah, not even just hair care, beauty as well.
So we'll do like a little intro to you, like a little snippet to the story, because I know like I'm exactly the same, where I'm just like, right, everyone's heard the story and what more can I say? And then we'll dive in a little bit deeper. So give me like, if people haven't heard of your Hair Syrup, give us a little intro on it.
Okay, so if you haven't heard of Hair Syrup by now, and do you know what? We met two girls yesterday and one of them had actually not heard of it, had she? No. So I thought...
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Hair Syrup
I know.
now.
And honestly, when I meet someone who hasn't heard about it, especially someone, our age, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And it's so exciting. Because normally people just say, oh, you're that girl from Hair Syrup straight away. But so basically it all started as a complete accident. Never ever set out to start a proper business or anything like that. And I, like you said, I was using these DIY hair oil blends on my own hair for ages. And then in 2020, I decided to make a TikTok on my personal page. I'd never used TikTok before, didn't have any followers, anything like that. And I made a little TikTok basically showing my hair before, my hair after. And I spoke about all the tips and tricks. This is what I did. I used this shampoo, that. And in that video, I spoke quite extensively about these oil treatments that I'd been using. And I woke up in the morning and this video had something like 600,000 views. It just went viral. And I obviously was not expecting that at all because I'd never been viral on social media. And then all of the comments, hundreds and hundreds of people were just asking the same thing. They said, where can I buy some of this stuff from? I want that oil that you've been using. That sounds like exactly what I need. So in that video, I'd kind of inadvertently, done the best sales pitch.
Yeah.
That, I possibly could have, but I had no idea at the time because I was genuinely just saying to people, this is how I make it, this is how I use it, and this is what it's done. Yeah. And then this went on for a few months. I didn't think anything of it at the beginning. Like, honestly, I didn't think anything of it. I just ignored most of the comments because I thought, what? People saying to me, what's your PayPal? I'll give you 20 quid. Yeah. Post me a bottle.
Yeah. You're thinking, that's a joke.
Obviously, I'm not going to do that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then anyway, it was months later then. And I can remember the night to this day. And we were literally the guy I was with at the time, we were just sitting in my house my parents' house. And I'd actually, by this point, I'd deleted the TikTok account that I'd made that original post on. Yeah. because it was really distracting. TikTok's different now because we sort of all got used to it, but it was such a novelty new thing back in 2020. No one really knew how to deal with it. And anyway, I was finding it really distracting because I was a student at the time. Yeah. So I deleted the app, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, the nature of the platform, my video had been reshared, reposted. And as you know, when you save a TikTok video, reshare it, it keeps your name on the bottom.
Yeah.
So people could still find me technically as Lucie Macleod. Yeah. So anyway, we were sitting there and it was probably 4 months after this video had been posted. And someone, random person on the internet, found my Facebook through this video. They said, "You're that person. I've seen your video. My hair's exactly the same as yours was. I have to go back into the office," or like, I've tried it off during COVID. I can't remember exactly what it was. "Please, I'm begging you. I need a bottle. Help me." And it was just this flippant moment. And I said, "Oh my God, someone's tracked me down on Facebook." And I actually felt a little bit
slightly creeped out.
Yes, yeah. But anyway, the guy I was with, he said, "Oh no, actually," he's like, "That's actually quite cool." And I was like, "Really?" And he said, "Well, yeah." He said, "God, imagine if you actually did start selling that stuff." Yeah. And I said, "No, I can't. You can't sell hair oil." Yeah. And he just said, "Well, why not?" He said, "People sell skincare, they sell cakes from home. Yeah. So why couldn't you?" So I thought, "Oh, well, why not? Maybe I could." And he said, "Well, there's obviously a demand for it." He was like, "You couldn't find anything on the market which led you to make them in the first place. Yeah. People can now still not find anything. So that's why they're asking you." He's like, "There's obviously a gap in the market." So yeah, it was kind of just like a light bulb moment of let's do it then. Tentatively. But I didn't tell anyone. I don't think I told him. I just sort of quietly did some background research. And then I realised, okay, you can sell it. I was like, you can make it, you can sell it. And then I read through all the regulatory stuff. And I thought, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that. And to be honest, when I look back, it was such a headache to set it up. Yeah. I had no idea what I was doing. To build my own website, do this, do that, make my own emails. Yeah. Oh my God, set up this how to ship parcels. Yeah. I didn't know any of it. And all the regulatory stuff, it was such a headache. Yeah. I just don't know what possessed me to keep going with it. Yeah. Because I didn't think I was going to make any money. Yeah. So and I honestly, I look back and I just ask myself, what was the point? Yeah. Or what did I think the point was? Yeah. So anyway, I ploughed on. And then told my parents I was going to do it. They were not happy. They were quite displeased.
Why?
Because I was in uni at the time.
Is that just not the path they saw you going down?
Absolutely not. And they said, "Oh, come on now." I always compare it to the equivalent of if you were, a few weeks away from your GCSE exams. Yeah. Then your kid comes home and says, "Oh, I've just got a new boyfriend." Yeah. They'd be thinking, "Oh no, wait till summer." So that's what they were thinking with me. They just thought, "Oh, why now? Yeah. You're so close. Yeah. Don't mess it up." Yeah. But I just insisted and I did it anyway, obviously. And I remember just saying to everyone, "Look, chill. It's not that deep. Yeah. It's going to be a little Etsy business. Yeah. I'm going to sell a few bottles of oil. Yeah. I might sell 10. Everyone just relax. It's not that deep." Yeah. And then
it was that deep.
And then before I knew it, a couple of months later, it just basically took over my life. Wow. And I was obviously still in uni, so I was having to juggle the two, which was an interesting experience. And then over the next few years, it just grew and grew and grew and grew. Wow. Until we ended up here, which, when I look back, it actually does. People say, "How does it feel?" It's indescribable. When I look back to that first night where it was suggested and then that first day where I got all the supplies and was stood there thinking, okay, this will be fun. And now I'm sat here living in Manchester and
sat in a plane seat,
doing a podcast, talking about my big business, talking about Dragon's Den. I can't describe it. There is no words to describe what it feels like. Yeah.
I love to ask people, because what you've been through is so rare, who our age gets to that point. How have you found the people around you? You've changed, you've gone in this direction. How have the people around you changed? Have people been really supportive, you're amazing? Or have you felt that where people, it's like that tall poppy syndrome, you're doing well, people treat you different? Have you experienced that?
So I've actually been really lucky. A lot of people say you lose loads of friends along the way. I haven't lost a single friend.
You are lucky.
Yeah, since doing it. Like I'm really lucky. I've always been very, very choosy and selective about who I'm friends with, and that's probably why I've not lost any of my friends, because I'm not one of those people who is just sort of mates with everyone and thinks I'd have to really like someone, they have to really like me for me to have that relationship with them. Yeah. And my friends just treat me completely normally. Like our relationships have not changed at all. I've made some amazing, like seriously amazing friends over the last sort of 2 years. Yeah. I think it has a much bigger impact. You know, the changes and stuff that I've been through definitely had a bigger impact on relationships, boyfriends. I think they probably feel the change more so than like they would feel the change more so than my friends maybe. And my friends have always just been really wanting to come along for the ride, but you know, the trouble is if people are wanting to go in one direction path, you're wanting to go into another, it's just not going to work. I have had a lot of stick from people locally to me. I'm from a really rural place in southwest Wales. Classic tall poppy syndrome. I mean, everything about hair syrup, you know, people at times have taken an issue with. You know, if I've moved into a new building, the neighbours have been not very friendly towards me, and I genuinely think it just all comes down to I'm a young girl doing something different. People think it's a bit weird. Well, they don't anymore, but people thought the whole thing was really weird. You know, there's stuff like that doesn't happen in Pembrokeshire. And suddenly we had Sky News turning up, and I was on the TV, and you had all these people everywhere, and it was all over TikTok, and people would still, you know, up until about a year and a half ago, they would say to me, well, what is it that you actually do? Yeah. And I'd say, well, I sell hair oils. And they'd say, well, people couldn't conceptualize.
It's so simple. It's like, what do you not understand? They're choosing to make an issue out of it.
And just to be judgmental. Like, what do you mean? And I was like, I sell hair oils. I was like, how do you think any of these other big brands start? Yeah. And then when people would come to my warehouse or walk past, they'd say, what is this place? And I was like, it's essentially, it's a small fulfillment center. I was like, how do you think your Amazon parcels get to you? I was like, someone... well, maybe not now with the robots, but someone packs them. They have to, you know, logistically be sorted. And so it was a really big change for, you know, my area. And I'd go into pubs and people would be, you know, obviously only after they've had a drink, but people, you know, making comments and then, of course, when everything started coming out about how much money the business was making. But you know what? Apart from a few idiots in the pub, and I don't go out anymore because it's just not worth it, you know. But apart from a few drunken idiots in the pub, what I hear to my face, at least, people, especially now that it's properly established, I think a few years ago, people were very skeptical of it. They found it very weird. They didn't really understand it. But now... people, and you know, if I don't go home very often, but when I do, people are so lovely, you know, they're saying, wow, you're doing so amazingly. But then there's a part of me that's like, where was all my support when, you know, it's easy now when you're, you know, projecting 10 million for people and you've got all these staff and big buildings for people to say, oh, look at you. But it's also about who was there when I was doing far less than that. And
100%.
It is ironic that the same people, because I know for a fact that there's some of the same people who might come up to me and say, wow, you're absolutely smashing it. I saw that you were in Downing Street last week. I'm like, but I know that you all laughed at me when I had 5,000 followers on TikTok. And you were like, what she thinks she's doing? Why is she trying to be something, do something? But yeah, the support was never there in the beginning. It was just all a big joke to everyone, I think. Which is why I kept it a secret. So I actually didn't tell anyone for about a year when I started hair syrup. Yeah.
Wow.
Complete secret from everyone.
Why?
Because of things like that. It's just because of the area that we lived in as well. Yeah. But you know what? I watch people write, and there's such an obsession nowadays with, and I speak to a lot, because there's a group of us who sort of started these TikTok brands around the same time. So you've got like me, Laura Mallows from Mallows Beauty.
Yeah.
You've got like Chloe from Chloe Mana. Who else have you got? Well, there's like our Pearl Cosmetics.
Yeah.
There's like a little group of us who kind of started it years and years ago.
Yeah.
And we all accidentally became these founder-led brands. We didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
But now I see people, you know, really kind of hammering that narrative, and like I feel sorry for them because I'm looking and thinking, you are putting so much pressure on this business to work.
Yeah.
You've tied your whole identity in it now. Yeah. Everyone knows that you're doing this.
Yeah.
And as much as I agree, you know, embarrassment is often the price you pay for success. Sometimes I just think it's better to, it must be so much pressure knowing that you've told everyone about it, you've put your face to it, you've put your name to it, it's out there.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, it's going to feel like such a big step down. Whereas I feel like when we all started doing it, it was just this small thing that we were all just like, if it doesn't work, we'll just do something else.
Yeah, who cares?
So yeah, that's how people have reacted to it though.
And what about like, because you've got like the in-person side, what about the online side? That is something I'm very new to. People's opinions, hate comments, you know, people not being happy with the products. You've now got the fake products that are being sold with TikTok Shop, which is insane. Like, when did that start to come in? How do you deal with that? And I guess like, I know you would have got a lot of attention after being on Dragon's Den. Like, how's that all been? How have you dealt with that?
So compared to other brands and other creators, we don't get that much stick online.
Yeah.
I think partially Lucy and I, just my social media, we have a very like, what's the word? Yeah, we're quite unprofessional, if you like.
Yeah.
The best word on the socials.
Yeah.
But I don't think social media is there to be a professional platform.
Yeah.
You know, when people say you're so, you know, if we get a comment saying, you know, you need to help me, I've had a problem. It's like, if you have problems with your orders, we have 4 people who do customer service who are designated to do that. Lucy and I don't, we don't even have access to the systems that you need, that your orders process through. Like, it's not a customer service platform. It's not for me, it is just an entertainment platform.
Yeah.
And I think because Lucy and I are so, you know,
you're just girls. Like.
And we're so like, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
People know that we don't take ourselves too seriously. So it's hard for people to troll us because we will troll people back.
Yeah.
Like if someone leaves a horrible comment, we will just do a video reply.
Yeah.
And, you know, but then again, equally, if I've ever said anything or done anything that's annoyed people, like we will take our videos down and this, that and the other and, you know, apologise for it and stuff. But yeah, it's just with stuff online, like I said, we really don't get it as bad as what other brands and people do. My God, I've got some creator friends, man, and I just don't know how they put up with it. One thing I will say is the minimal stuff that we do have, just don't read it. Yeah. Because you will wind yourself up. You've got people online. We get a lot of what we do get is some sort of weird speculations about things like, you know, if we have someone leave, you know, because we're very public about staff and stuff. And if you have someone leave the company, they're like, where have they gone? And it's like, they've got a new job.
Yeah, it's
like,
not deep.
They're 24 or 23. Like, what do you think's happened? Like, they've got a new job. There's not some big scandal. It's like they moved, like one girl, she's just moved to London. They were like, we had this comment, she's like, where's she gone? Like, and it's like, no, she's just moved. She was only ever on a 3-month. She was only working for me 3 months. Like,
no, not your business.
And would you ever ask?
No.
So I think this whole like Glassdoor policy that you get with social media is really interesting because it makes people feel like they have an entitlement to sort of know everything. And so that's the only thing we don't deal. It's not the hate. It's the more the lack of boundaries. But so then, you know, we've sort of created that ourselves. So it's a difficult one to balance, but slight lack of boundaries around what's too much. You know, when they're sometimes Lucy and I get asked quite invasive questions and we're just thinking, you actually don't know us. Yeah. And I know people feel like they know us, but we're like, no, okay, that's
a different side that you show on social media.
That's a little bit too far. But what else happens to us? Yeah, we don't really get that much trolled. Do you know, it is an interesting place, though, to get product feedback. So feedback on the products is quite an interesting one. I say we don't use it as a customer service thing, but we do take some, but a lot of it was with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
Because you find on social media, someone says one bad thing, and then you get 10 of these fake accounts.
Yeah.
They don't follow you.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I ordered this and this happened as well. And you're thinking, and a lot of the time we'll say, well, what's your order number?
Yeah.
And they don't have one.
Yeah.
And it's like, you haven't ordered. You're just jumping on. But, you know, with social media, everyone is just waiting for you to do something or say something so that everyone could just pile on and say, you said this. And it's like, I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah.
But people just want to.
And they know you didn't mean it like that. Like, I think it's a really hard space that we're in at the minute, because I think there's like these young founders that we're all starting out together. We're like documenting our journey. Obviously you make mistakes and you get judged so badly for it, and everyone, like you said, is just waiting to pounce. like pounce on them, like cancel people.
I know.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel like anxious in case you're like, will that be me one day, or is it just like you just got to back what you say, and you know, it's scary, isn't it?
I think, like I said, I'm quite an open heart on my sleeve person. Like if I don't have any controversial, you know, I'm not afraid of, I don't have any controversial opinions that's gonna, you know, really upset people or get me cancelled in that way. But you don't even need to these days. Like honestly, sometimes people can just do something and it just gets slightly misinterpreted and then it's just done then. It is something that makes me anxious, especially because Lucy and I have got so much more attention on social media recently. It's like you know, we do worry about putting a foot out line or saying this or saying that. But then equally, I've seen it happen to girls I'm friends with. Girls more so than guys.
Yeah.
Like, when do you see these pylons happen to...
Yeah, literally never. Yeah.
And anyway, I know girls who it's happened to. And I think for me, it's been a big learning curve to just accept that these things are out of your control.
Yeah.
Like, I can't... Like you said, if I say something or post something and it's misinterpreted or, you know, or it causes offence, like I could either, depending on what it would be, whether I would back it and say, well, no, I do think that.
Yeah.
And if you don't agree with it, then that's absolutely fine. Or whether but yeah, you just don't know. And I think it's out of your control. Like who knows when, where, how something might be said or done. But one thing that really annoyed me, this is definitely just a personal thing, but after I went on Dragon's Den, because as I said, like my parents were not happy about me starting the business. So I was always really academic when I was in school, like straight A star student. And it was something that I really, you know, I would pride myself on. And, you know, I did really well in school. And when I went on Dragon's Den, it was one thing that did used to really bother me was people calling me stupid in my comments. And I was just fuming. I just thought, because that really bothered me.
Yeah.
Because it was something that I've worked so hard at my whole life and been really committed to.
Yeah.
And then that was definitely just like an ego thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that really bothered me. More so, I don't care if I go on TikTok and someone's like, you're ugly. Or, well, I don't like this. Like, I really genuinely don't care about that. But that really got under my skin because it felt really personal.
Yeah.
So that trolling actually really did annoy me. And I'd find myself sitting there and I'd argue with these people.
Yeah.
And I'd sit there for 10 minutes and I'd think, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You go on their profile, user 1110, and you're just
never a person.
You're just like, what am I doing? I've just spent 10 minutes.
It's never someone like us who would comment that, ever. It's always complete losers in life,
When would you
isn't it?
ever comment something like that on someone's...
Never.
That's what I mean.
Ever.
And we, but I had some comments saying that, though. I remember I had this one comment after Dragon's Den, and I went on this woman's profile. She had 3 kids. And I literally commented back to her. I was like, You're a mother. Like, you might want to put your profile on private because you're abusing a 24-year-old girl on the internet. And you've got 3 children. Like, it's not really a good look. And then she blocked us.
They always do. That's usually when you're right.
Yeah, but they're like, people are like, oh, you're so unprofessional. And it's like, why should I tolerate being verbally abused online?
In my space that I've created.
Don't come on my page. If you don't like it, this is what we say to people. Block us, unfollow us. If you don't like our content, if don't like the product, don't like the brand, you don't have to engage with it at all. Basically, you don't have to engage with it at all.
What was the response to Dragon's Den? Like, I know there was a lot of love there, and then people were very like, do you know what? You guys are amazing. And I know that you came on the other side of it and you managed to do better for it. But what did it feel like at the time, like on that day? What was that like?
Oh, it was horrendous.
I remember watching that and I was really rooting for you. And it's when you get grilled. Oh my God, the anxiety. I can't even... What was that day like? I can't even imagine.
Horrendous. I was in there for 3.5 hours.
God.
And this is what, again, people just don't understand, because people are like, oh, you're so stupid. How do you not know the answer to the question? So I'm like, first of all, you see a 15 segment of a 3.5 hour.
Why did it need to be 3.5 hours? Did they go into everything of the business?
Yeah, and we had to repeat a lot of stuff, and you go in and they go back on this, and it was a nightmare. And
Were you
I was
nervous on the day?
Oh, I was. Do you know what? I don't get stage fright. Like, I'm quite a confident person.
Yeah.
I don't get stage fright. You know, I speak on camera a lot.
Yeah.
Speak on stage a lot.
Yeah.
There was something about that.
It's huge. The people in that room, like, you know, it's going to be broadcasted as well. It's massive.
And I really idolised, you know, I was sort of like, oh, I want to be like them when I grow up.
Yeah.
And I idolised them. Don't meet your idols. But I really kind of idolised them, and I really wanted them to like me and like the brand.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they didn't. Or no, it's not that they didn't like me and like the brand. It was totally impersonal, like unpersonal, sorry. But it felt like that at the time. It was just awful. Like, I was stood on that stage and everyone says to me, oh, like someone actually said to me, oh, you bottled it, like right at the end. I said, that wasn't right at the end.
No.
I was like, you saw 15 minutes. I said, I was fine. They were like, why were you fine, doing really well? And then and I said, yeah, because we were 3.5 hours into filming. Like, what the hell are you on about? How do you think I'm going to be after standing on stage for 3.5 hours? Obviously I'm going to be
and you're probably let down as well. Like, if people are going, no, you're probably like, I just want to be in bed at home now. Like, I don't want to be here.
But you can't be, because they're still going. They're still, and you're just, and everyone's shouting, everyone's arguing. They're saying this, and then they ask you that, and then they pull back and ask you a different question. I just say to anyone, if you have ever sat on social media and looked at someone on any reality TV show and thought, what are they doing that for? I urge you, go on yourself and then see how it goes. Because whatever you think it's like, it's the complete opposite.
What was it like the moment you came off that stage speaking to them? Was it just like crying, I want to be sick, that was horrible? Yeah. How did you move on from that? Was it so when it was coming out, I'm guessing you were feeling nervous anyway. And then did it motivate you seeing the positive response, or did it take a while for the positive response to come through?
The Dragon, so I spoke to Stephen Bartlett and Trini Woodhall afterwards, and they were really lovely afterwards, and they just reassured me. I remember Stephen said to me, you're going to be sorted for life after this. And I was crying. I looked at him, I said, what? And he was laughing, and he was like, you have no idea what you've just done. He was like, this is going to change your life. And I said, what? Made an absolute fool of myself and been rejected by 6 of you on national TV.
Were you like, well, why didn't you invest in me?
That's what I said.
Yeah.
So why didn't you invest in me then? He was like, the best thing that could have ever happened to you is that you didn't get any investment. Wow. He just knew. And I say what you want about Stephen Bartlett, but he's a really smart, amazing guy. And he knew. He said, this episode is going to come out and that'll be it then. And he said, yeah, you'll make some sales and stuff. He was like, but this is the whole start of, he was like, the best thing you ever did was come on this show. The best thing we ever did was all 6 of us reject you. And I just thought he was trying to make me feel better. So I was like, oh, do you think he actually meant that? You know, speaking to people, oh, do you think? And some people were like, well, he was probably just being nice. And he's probably just trying to comfort you and blah, blah, blah. But of course he wasn't. He was being completely truthful. And yeah, it was awful though. And I was convinced that I was just going to be a laughing stock and everyone was going to hate me. And that was that went on for 8 months whilst I was waiting for the show to air. And then the day that it did air, I was absolutely terrified beyond belief. I was just like, no. And then the minute it came out, it was just like floodgates opened.
Was it? Was it like, did you get loads of sales from that? Was there loads of was there good and bad responses to it?
The bad responses were in a tiny, tiny minority.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and the worst that people could say was, oh, you don't know what a dividend is.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh my God, what? Like, shut up.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've
got energy for those.
Yeah, but what can you say to people like that?
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, whatever. And I just thought, okay, do you know what? I've had like 10 comments from you people.
Yeah.
But I've been approached by every single large press publication in the UK. I had some really great investment offers.
Wow.
Retailers were reaching out to me.
So were you like, oh my God, like this isn't the response you were going to get?
I had no idea it would. I thought, yeah, we'll get a few sales, website sales. But it's completely changed my life. I wouldn't be sitting here if I hadn't gone on Dragon's Den. Like, it completely changed everything about my life. And yeah, it was incredible, really, what it did for me.
Have you had much support from any of the dragons since?
Stephen's the only one who stayed in touch, but he messages, comments on stuff. Yeah. And he, always says to me, like, if you need anything, get in touch, let me know. And he's one of he actually would help as well. If you ever needed
he's not just saying it.
No, he's not just saying it. He actually would help. So yeah, but he's the only one I've spoken to.
What would you say? Because I always want to get because I feel like business is one of those things where it always looks like amazing and you're so successful and everything's great. But like, what would you say has been a moment for you where, and maybe it was Dragon's Den, where you felt sick? I don't know how I'm supposed to carry on from this. It's consuming every part of me.
I've got so many instances. Oh my God.
Where to start?
I wouldn't know where to start. More so when we were scaling. So the worst time of my life in the business was, I had a really bad year last year as well, actually 2024. But it's very much been compensated for by this year. Oh my God. So we had so many of those. But I was, oh my God, so many when we first started out. Oh my good God. A lot of these things I don't think the problems have stopped.
Yeah.
You just become so much more resilient in dealing with them.
Yeah.
I don't bat an eyelid now at things that would have sent me into a 3-day breakdown 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I've started to really be able to put things into perspective. Oh my, one thing that was really bad was videos that used to go viral. And we'd have, 4,000 orders in one day, which sounds like a good problem to have, and it is. But we didn't have the capacity to deal with it at that time. Yeah. The products were being filled by hand and then packed by hand. And I was just so obsessed with growing the business, but I had no idea how to support that growth through the operations, logistics side of things. I was just like sales.
Yeah.
Because the way I looked at it, which isn't a bad way, but the way I looked at it is money can solve all the problems.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I'm selling more, something else will happen and we'll be able to figure out.
Hire more staff or
Exactly. That's kind of how I looked at it, which worked in a lot of ways. But yeah, that was so difficult, man. We used to have stock that would turn up and there'd be a problem with it. We had a batch of stock turn up before and our products are waterless. And we used this manufacturer. Don't know what had happened, what they'd done, but they ended up having water inside the product. So they arrived in the big drums. And you could just see the oil and the water had separated, but we don't use any preservatives in them because you don't need to, because you don't have water. And we were like, what the hell? The water would then obviously go mouldy because you don't have any preservatives. Yeah. And we just had, I don't know how many drums of this stuff that was just spoiled. And we had orders to fit. Oh, it was an era, honestly. Yeah. What else has happened? Oh, I remember one bad thing was we went into this building that we were renting and our lease didn't start until the next day. And anyway, we went in and started washing the walls because we just couldn't wait, needed to get in there. And then the electricity tripped. And that sounds really minor.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how to get it back on. And
Yeah.
I remember thinking, oh, I've broken it. This is a sign. And that sounds really minor in terms of things that can go wrong in a business. But that felt like the end of the world.
Because you just made that huge like commitment to it as well.
Yeah, and then there was this massive bang. The lights all went off and I just thought, oh my God.
Great, just my luck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I thought, oh, great. Yeah, loads of things gone wrong. We sent out 10,000 bottles of oil. Well, we didn't. It went straight from one of our manufacturers to a beauty box.
Yeah.
Big influencer, 1.2 mil followers, opened it live, and the hair syrup had spilled it over everything.
Oh my God.
She was like, what is this shit? Hair syrup. No. And we were like,
how did you feel at that moment?
Oh, mortified.
And I always ask people how you get through it, but I suppose you don't have a choice. You just have to get through it. There's probably no techniques you can give me to help.
That one I just left.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I cannot do anything about this. And actually, it's not me that's, I know this sounds bad, but because they bought the beauty box off a different company.
Yeah.
It was kind of.
It's not your full responsibility to deliver it.
That was it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I was like, I actually can't do anything to help here. So there's no point getting stressed about it. And that's how I deal with it.
And like to flip it, what is the biggest pinch me moment where you've sat there and genuinely just been like, what is my life? Like, how has this happened?
Probably when I went to the Houses of Commons or number 10 Downing Street.
Yeah.
God, when I made that Sunday Times list, man, that was a big one. Yeah. I thought, I was genuinely like, how have I done this?
Insane.
And just some of the people I've met, launching in Boots, that was a real...
like seeing it on the shelves.
Yeah, like in Oxford Street in London, I thought, wow.
Insane.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Moments like that, I think. And I just love, I'm a big press girl, so I love, being in the newspapers and things like that, seeing my brand in the newspapers. So yeah, I think that those sorts of things were really big for me.
And how do you like balance like your actual life outside of the business? Because I feel like some business owners really have it together and they're like, yeah, I go to Pilates every morning, blah, blah, blah. Are you just like business, that's like all you can focus on at the minute? Or are you able to have a bit of both?
So it's a difficult one because a lot of my social life is revolved around work as well.
Yeah.
So I get some people, like someone actually made a comment to me a couple of weeks ago. Is like, oh, do you ever work? Like, do you just go to do this? You're just jetting around all the time. And I was like, but that is my job. Like my job now is being front-facing stuff.
Yeah.
Going to networking events, meeting people, doing podcasts, giving speeches.
Yeah.
This, that, and the other. It was, that is my life now. That is my job.
Yeah.
And trying to explain that to people, and people just get super bitter about it because they think, oh, I'm stuck behind a desk, or I'm working harder than you, and I'm like, you actually have no idea what it's like to actually, it's not what it seems on social media.
Sometimes hell, like how you can't even describe it to people.
Exactly. And, I'm obviously in a very privileged position and I totally understand that. But what I try to explain to people is, as a founder and the sort of business that I've got, it is all about getting the brand out there, meeting people, meeting suppliers, meeting new potential buyers, building business relationships. And that is what I'm doing now. And a lot of that leads into a lot of socializing.
Yeah.
So a lot of dinners, a lot of trips abroad. So to be honest, I'm not mad about it. My social life, like I said, a lot to do with work anyway. Never really switches off. Obviously, I'd never really get like a full day off. And there's always something to do with work. Yeah. But I think we've just moved to Manchester literally last week. So already we've got a much better sense of work-life balance. Because, we've got a kind of nice building, nice space with all the amenities and stuff. But I don't wake up at 5 a.m. and go to Pilates.
No, I absolutely do not.
Not yet.
So like, if we talk about the team side of things, that is like a question I had of loads of people, is managing a team in itself is very hard. Managing a team when you're very similar age to most of them is even harder. I'm in that position now, and it's probably out of everything I do, the hardest thing.
Agreed.
What have you learned from it? How do you manage it? If you do, like, maybe you're still just figuring out like I am.
Well, yeah. So I'm really lucky with the team I've got right now. I've had some employees from hell, as most of us have had. Yeah, a lot of people, like you said, you're young, inexperienced, and you get people even the same age who can smell that in you and are out to exploit. They want to take something that you've got. They feel that's not fair that you've got that. I want a bit, they feel they're not coming to work for you. They've got an ulterior motive.
Especially when your brand is now so big. Is that a fear you have when you're hiring? You're coming in as like a plant, or you're coming in to steal something or like get juice on us or something?
Yeah, which is literally what people do.
Oh, God.
And also we have this thing where like people, because of the way that Lucie and I have become so well known through it, but there's lots of reasons why, because we've had a lot of people on the social team like come and go and stuff. And the reason why largely Lucie and I have become more of a duo, and it's just it's been totally organic. We haven't forced this to happen. Like I said, we've had multiple faces and people on the socials, but big part about it genuinely is I think it's just because we've got the same name. And that's just got so much attention. And I'm blonde, she's blonde, I'm brunette. We've got this kind of black cat, golden retriever energy. And sometimes I think people want a job at Hair Syrup because they think that they're gonna become an influencer through it or something, or they think they're going to become, and we're like, no, that this is actually like a job, and you have to,
it's actually hard work.
And you still actually have to do stuff. It's not just, but yeah, managing a team is like the worst, and I'm quite traumatized by, I'm a very, well, not anymore. Do you know what? I'm actually not. And I actually said to this guy who's essentially running my operations down in Wales, I said to him, because he had an issue with a member of staff literally last week. It wasn't even a member of staff. It was this guy. I don't know the context, but I don't deal with that stuff anymore. But I said, because I'd told him, I've given him like a rundown of my, kind of nihilism sometimes when it comes to pessimism, if actually when it comes to how people can be. And he was like, well, I like to see the best in people and I like this. And I said, listen, I've had so many people in and out this door. I said, trust me, that'll go away. And he was like, no, like I like to be. And I just thought,
no, I'm exactly this. I'm so scarred by people now. It's just, it's almost harder for me now to see the good. I'm straight away like, there's an ulterior motive.
Red flags.
People will get jealous. People will do this. People behave weird. People are strange how they behave.
I think one day the stories will...
That'll be a documentary.
Yeah, Lucie's like, oh no. But one day, but Lucie and I talk about it a lot, and some things we could say, and the characters that you're dealing with, a lot of the time they're so manipulative, that you just think like, how would... the way that they curate things, you're thinking, this sounds so unbelievable and so far-fetched. And if it's coming from me, people are already going, people are already got their back up with me because they're like already going, oh, well, she's this and she thinks she's that. So already they don't want to believe what I'm saying. And they would already want to, side with someone else. So it's just like, but we've exactly a lot of it, like you said, it's jealousy. It's why have you got that and I haven't? And
especially like at a younger age now. So like all my team is like 21 to 24. And a big part of it is that it's their first job. Some of them haven't had a real job before. And a lot of people our age now do just want to be influencers or creators or whatever. So when we're the ones that are front facing and doing all of that and working with brands, then they think like there is some resentment there because they want to be in that spot. But I used to be very much like, I felt like I had to explain everything I did. If I get into the office at 11 one day, I have to explain. If I'm taking the day off to go out for lunch with someone, I have to explain. But now I've just got to the point where I'm like, I'm doing everything for the better of the business. You don't see the choices I make, the decisions I make, and that's also none of their business, respectfully.
100%. I'm exactly the same. And I used to be like that.
Yeah.
And I've, since Dragon's Den, something has switched in my brain though.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't worry about what I'm doing. Worry about what you're doing.
Yeah.
But my staff now are amazing. Like, my team are so great. And we don't have any of those, you know, rotten apples, if you like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had it a lot with stuff, and it's genuinely traumatizing because the betrayal, the lying, the breach of trust, you know, it was really difficult for me because no one would ever understand because they would have to have been in my position. But, you know, having all that responsibility and on my shoulders and trying to juggling a million things, and then just have like people come in and take advantage of you when you're in a weak, vulnerable position is just like disgusting, to be honest. And that's what people do. They're vultures, you know, and they want something out of you, or they are not there for
they're not there to help you grow and better the business.
No, they think why should, and there's also this attitude of, even though they're being paid, there's an attitude of, why should I help you make money? And it's like,
it's your job.
Because that's your job. Like, you're not doing this for free. This isn't a favour.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting paid per hour. You're taking no risk whatsoever.
Yeah.
You're getting your paycheck every month. If you want to go and do what you want to do, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But you, at the minute, you're working for me, and your job is to. But genuinely, people have an attitude of, why is she making all that money? And they think I'm making it off someone's back, and it's like, no, I'm not. I've just built a business. This is how the world works.
Yeah.
Like, you work for a private company.
Yeah. And I think as well, because like it's so new to them, they can see all the, you know, Lucie makes the £5 million. That's going to be in her bank account.
Yeah.
That's your salary, £5 million.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, me with my 5 mil sitting in my bank. Yeah, of course.
And it's just not how it works. But I think we'd generally just be exhausted if you had to explain every decision to every person. So how do you now manage the team whilst being, you know, kind, respectful, but also authoritative?
Well, the only person who works under me is Lucie.
Love that.
Yeah, so she's the only person who works under me directly, and she doesn't really need much steering. I mean, I give her tasks and stuff occasionally, but she just gets on with it most of the time. But the rest of the team, I've got 2 more senior members of staff who oversee it, and then there's 2 supervisors under that, and then everyone else sits there.
Amazing.
But my team are really good. And to be honest, like I said, I'm waiting for the other 2 senior members of staff to move to my way of thinking, because I am cutthroat with things. There's no second chances with me now. Just because I've been burnt so many times. If I see something in someone's character and I can see someone walk through the door now, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, gotta go.
But I'm not, because I'm not involved in the recruitment process. I'm not. They don't work under me. I'm not in the building. So it's technically not my, but I can see that from, I speak to them for 2 minutes, not even. And I'm like, nah, you're not gonna, I mean, sometimes you're gonna get blindsided by people, but I don't have this attitude of, oh, well, let's see the best in people.
Yeah.
It's a waste of everyone's time. It's not gonna work. They're not gonna, this is not gonna be the right place for them. And I genuinely think that sometimes being like that, you're doing people a favor. It's like, oh no, give them a chance. No. This isn't right for them. It's like, do you know what I see it as an employer's perspective? You know, when you look at your friend who's in a bad relationship and you wish you could just pluck them out and say, this isn't right for you. And then they go off, and they always go off and find better and find something that's more suited to them. I see that in staff, and I'm thinking, you could stay in this job for a year, but this isn't really the right place for you. It's quite a niche environment. You know, it's quite a niche brand to work for. Why are you going to waste your own time? You're going to be unhappy. What's the point? Let's cut our losses right now. But that's just through experience of it happening, and also experience of me kicking the can down the road. Like, my God, last time I sacked someone, it should have been a sacking 7 months prior. But you just don't, do you? You just go, oh, well, you know.
It might change. It's more of an inconvenience for me to have that chat.
don't want to. It's awkward.
Yeah, I've learnt that now. Like I was one of those people where I hated confrontation, awkward chat. So I'd put it off. I'd be like, we'll see. We'll try a week and we'll see if it improves. And we try another week. And I've learnt now, as uncomfortable as it is, just do it straight away. Because it gets worse and worse, doesn't it? And it gets awkward and it's horrible.
Yeah, but dealing with staff is just my advice to anyone, which I wish I'd done long before I did. Get a HR manager. Because it's just like...
What was that like? Does it feel like just a sense of relief moving from you were the manager, the everything, to now you just do that and I'll deal with my own stuff?
It has to be like I said, you know, people can look at me as well. And sometimes I get a sense from people where, oh, look at Lucie and Lucy waltzing off. Oh, they were in Las Vegas last week.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, and now they're going here this week and now they're in Manchester. And it's like, but I've doubled. But okay, so I've stepped away from the business. Other people have had to step up, change their roles, do this, do that. Yeah. But our revenue's doubling this year. So I'm like, well, I must be doing something right.
Yeah.
And the amount of times I will sit and say to people, no one in this company apart from me has ever, like, people, I'm the only one who sells. I'm fully responsible for the sales. So I'm like, let me sell in the way that I sell, and everyone else just
do your job.
Yeah. And don't worry, because I'm doing my thing. Yeah. Everyone else crack on. So yeah, that's but it's the right way to do it, you know, like it's good for the business. I'm not a finance specialist. I'm not an operations specialist. I'm not an e-com specialist. So get those people in. Certainly not a HR. Do you know, I used to spend the bane of my life and it was so stressful. Can't even tell you how stressful it was. I can't really listen to people. This is why I've got a HR manager. I can't listen to people's moaning and their disagreements and so I asked so and so to pass me this and they rolled their eyes and someone told me, ignored me when I can't. I cannot.
It's because your problems are like up here and it's just like, she said this. You have the brain capacity for it.
Honestly, it gives me like flashbacks, and I used to have to deal with all of that. And I don't know how I did, because and it would have cost me. You know, I'd have made so much more money if I hadn't been listening to that, hadn't been dealing with that, because it takes me away from my desk or away from my events or away from what I'm doing. And it's just like, what, you know. And because everyone sees, well, I am friends with my staff, so they see me as, you know, someone who they can come to, which is amazing. I think it should be like that. But with the woman who does my HR manager now, nobody really sees her as a friend in that way. They just see her as, and they would feel too self-conscious to go to her with any ridiculous things, because they'd be like, oh, she's busy and she's like this professional woman and I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. So the issues that would have been there, they're just gone, you know, most of them from a year ago, because it's just like, you know, nobody wants to make a fuss about things. But when I was just in work, it was easy to just pull me to the side. And but yeah, I've had some absolute nightmares in and out of the door.
How do you deal with the actual perception of being, are you the same age as me, 25?
Yeah, 25.
Yeah. So how do you deal with people, because I get it a lot, you know, you're a young girl and, you know, that whole, it's usually from like people that are older or older men. I feel like I get it with a lot. Like, do you get much of that? Like people really underestimate you, what you are, until you say what you do and they're like, oh, like, does that ever get to you? Do you still get that?
Yeah, someone asked me, I mean, this was just hilarious. This was actually nothing to do with work. I was at an event, friends and family, and someone said, "Oh, a man, obviously in his, I don't know, 50s maybe." He said, "Oh, what do you do?" And I said, "Oh, you know, I've got my own business." And he said, "Oh, doing what?" And I said, "Oh, I sell hair oil." And he was just like, "Sorry." And I said, "Yeah, like it's quite a big business." And he said, what do you do for your full-time job?" I said, "I've got about 17 members of staff." I said, "Sorry, my full-time job?" And I said, was like, I made £5 million last year. And I said, I don't ever throw figures like that around. But I thought he was so rude.
Yeah.
I looked at him, I said, I made £5 million last year. I said, what do you mean, what's my real job?
Yeah.
And he said, he was just like completely, as you can imagine. He said, what? Sorry? And I said, yeah. I was like, but even if I didn't, why don't you pay a bit of an interest in, you know, even if I made £100 with it, why would you not pay an interest and go, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit more about it. But then I won't give people the time of day because I'm like, you're only interested in me now because you're thinking, oh, look, she's
You can get something from her.
or she's worthy of being spoken to.
Yeah.
And I just think, nah. Lots of that. But I take that as fuel, to be honest. I almost like being underestimated because it gives me so much satisfaction when I land on the Sunday Times, fastest growing beauty company list. I've, topped that list as the fastest growing beauty company. And I get so much more satisfaction in those moments knowing that people... And everyone underestimated me right from the beginning. I find it really funny, though, because... Like some people's, my story is very niche, very different from most people's. But when I say this, this started from nothing and I genuinely never expected it to be anything. I mean that. And some people say, oh, I had no idea my business was going to blow up. But I'm like, you did invest like 10 grand into it, though. Like you must have had some sort of inclination that it was going to work. Like I genuinely didn't have any idea. Like this is a total self-made.
You can tell when you're speaking about it. You're like you're like, I don't even know what to say. It's insane. I
just laugh though because sometimes people go, oh, like I can't believe this isn't me bashing other founders, but I just find it, they're like, oh my God, it's like so insane that I'm here now. And I'm thinking, but surely that was your intention.
Yeah.
I mean, if I started another business now, I wouldn't be sitting in a podcast in 3 years' time going, oh, wow, this is such a shock. Because it wouldn't have been because I would have had a business plan and I would have invested money into it and time and resources and it would have been completely different. So when people say that, I'm like,
was it a shock?
Was it a shock though?
Yeah.
Like, where did you think that 10 grand, like 10 grand's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, well, where did you think that was going to go?
Yeah.
Where did you think, you knew you were going to get that back?
Yeah.
So I just find it a bit,
How funny.
Yeah.
What has happened then with the whole TikTok side of things? People ripping the products off. Like my mum even falls. Like she falls for. She's like, oh, it's only like. I'm like, Mum, it's not. Like it's. Yeah. And there's no regulations against it.
I know it's so bad. I've literally just done like an interview with BBC and another interview with I can't remember which one it was. One of the big ones. It's so bad. So you can go on our TikTok and we actually made a video about we ordered a bottle of the counterfeit product, compared it. It was just horrendous. I didn't even know what it was. It was like glue in a bottle. It was just really weird. And when you rubbed it between your hands, it foamed up.
Ooh.
So we were like, what the hell is this? Yeah. And people were buying. I'm sorry though, but like you said, £2. Yeah. It was £1.98 on TikTok Shop.
I always think outside of hair syrup, I always think if I'm buying something and it's cheap for a reason. Like if I'm buying a shampoo, it's cheap. A mascara, it's cheap. Like there's always a reason.
There's one thing like if something's a $5 off or if there's a sale. Yeah. Something or other if you're buying it,
But if you're like, oh, hair syrup's usually like £15, now it's on for £1.50, like that's such a good deal.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You're thinking, come on.
And then do you get the backlash for it when
all the time?
Wow.
That is some backlash we've had recently. So someone commented on one of our videos, which I thought was really odd, and they said, my hair syrup arrived and it's like glue. I said, what?
It's not hair syrup then.
And then anyway, then when all these fakes and we said, oh, right, that's probably what happened then. But yeah, and we don't know who's responsible for it. Like the product said it's made in China. Who knows? I think there's going to be, I know that, this is being like investigated now and stuff by a lot of journalists. Yeah. So people get to the bottom of it.
Wow.
But very, very strange, very odd. And we get the I'll never order from you again. The product arrived and it stank, or it didn't smell of anything, or it was this or it was that.
Yeah.
And we're like,
yeah, for the price. Yeah. Has it made you feel like you want to just boycott TikTok Shop now then?
Well, I think one of the famous things when I was on Dragon's Den is that it was accounting for 49% of my revenue.
Wow.
And as of last month, it was only 24%. So we still make the same amount of, obviously, still make money through it, but it's less of a percentage in terms of our, our annual income.
Yeah.
So yeah, down to 24% from 49, which is really, really good. And then our B2B is 36%, which is a lot healthier. We want to grow that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's a shame, really. You know, it was an amazing platform, perfect for businesses, perfect for small businesses, and now
everything gets ruined. Social media ruins everything.
Yeah.
And basically. It really does. I just think what I've learned from being a business owner is like nothing's real. Like even when we do share, you know, these amazing achievements, you got like I've made it into Boots or you went on Dragon's Den, like things like that. They are so amazing, but like there's so much struggle to get to that point. And I just think as well, like people listening, they probably look up to you and they want to be in your position. They want to have a big team. They want to be making loads of money. But the bigger the business gets, the bigger the problems get. And like, of course you love it. Otherwise you wouldn't be doing it. But it's just, there are some days genuinely when you're just like, oh, how much can one person go through? Like it's exhausting. And I think I'd love to sort of round off with I don't want to do like generic advice, but like genuine advice for people that are like, I want to be in your spot, Lucie. Like when you meet business owners now, like what do you think is something you see in them where you think you're going to do really well versus like just maybe another business owner?
I probably will ruffle some feathers when I say this, but I believe that people have something about them when I look at them and I think, yeah. And I know from speaking to other people who have done it that I've got whatever that is.
Yeah.
There's just something about some people.
Yeah.
If you're going into starting a business thinking, I think there's also a big difference between being a business owner and being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So I see myself much more as an entrepreneur. And if I look at the characteristics of a typical entrepreneur and a lot of others I meet, I'm tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
Running a business or building a business or drop shipping, it's not the same.
Yeah.
It's not the same. And also, if you are finding yourself as a, wanting to start a business, but you're looking at someone like me, for example, and going, right, Lucie did it like this.
Yeah. Here's
my plan. Here's her. Here's what she did. I can do. If I do that, then I'll be fine. I'll just copy what she did.
Yeah.
Nah.
The best ones have paved the way. It shouldn't be a copy.
This is it.
Like, and that's what everyone is trying to do at the minute is copy. Nothing's original anymore. And it's just like, if it's been done before, that's the thing with copying as well. It's like you're the best if you're being copied. And it is a mindset thing now. If you just got to be like, I know we're the best, we're being copied. That's how you know. It's
quite annoying though, because I feel like when people do it to me, I'm like, this is my life.
Yeah.
This isn't some textbook, roadmap for you to say, okay, well, if I just do this like Lucie did it, then I'm going to make £5 million in 4 years. It's like, that's not at all what happened. And also, I believe as well, again, might be controversial. I don't think that you can learn. I think a lot of this comes from within. It's a lot about grit, resilience, determination, having something about your character. Check your motives. Because I know, I look at some people and I'm like, I know why you're doing this.
Yeah.
You're not doing this because you're doing this for the wrong reasons. You're doing this because it's purely motivated by money or proving some sort of a point or wanting to, you think it gives you some sort of social status.
Yeah.
And I just think when your business gets hard, all of that stuff does not matter at all. And that's when you'll start to think, what if you're not doing it because you have a genuine passion for your brand, your business, and just have that, I don't know, it's kind of like a twisted way of, it's a twisted enjoyment that I get out of this really high stress, I mean, it's not an enjoyment. I can't describe it.
It's like a drug addiction. I always say to people, it's like you get like a high and it's indescribable, but then the lows are like, you're like gasping for the next high. And there's never a neutral. It's always high or low. Like it's continuous.
And you've got to chase, you're constantly chasing it.
Yeah.
And if I was if I was less, and you got to be very tenacious, and I think if I was less, I've gone through some horrendous periods with the brand. And if I didn't have this burning passion inside me that was, again, it all comes from a positive place though, a genuine want for something. Like I said, if you're doing this because you're trying to be something, or it's just not going to work. And it will not motivate you when things get really hard. If your business scales and things get really hard, it is not enough to motivate you. You need so much more than just that. And it has to be this genuine passion. I don't think it can be taught. And I think for some people it's there. And also, again, controversial, but hair syrup came to me so naturally. I didn't say, right, I'm going to start a business. Let me think of an idea. And then, think of 10 ideas, and then one of them might hit, one of them might not. It came to me, and it was from a place of, and like the other businesses that I'm looking at doing, again, it's things that have just been on my brain for a few years, and I have this natural draw to them. I probably wouldn't start a business just because I'm going, oh, okay, well, there's a lot of money in this area, so I'm going to start doing that. I think there's nothing quite like it's like the story about Facebook. I just absolutely love that story about how they founded Facebook. And there's something just so real and organic about it that I think is a really, really important part, particularly of entrepreneurialism. Maybe not so just being a business owner, but particularly entrepreneurialism, that I think you need some of that real genuineness behind it. Otherwise...
it's not going to last, is it?
What are you doing it for? Oh, it's trendy to be a business owner right now. Okay, but what if it's not? But I won't care in 5 years' time, because it's also, recommend this to everyone. Closing point, because I'm going on now. Do the 16 personalities test.
Yes, I've done this. It's very eye-opening.
It's completely eye-opening, and it tells you so much about yourself as a person. And when I did mine years ago, it's so true. And mine's the commander type, which is ENTJ. And it just means that for me as a person, integrally, being a business owner fills my cup. Really fills my cup and gives me satisfaction in life. But if you're not... if your personality doesn't, it's just like, are you really going to enjoy this? The highs, the lows, the, oh my God, the turbulence, the everything. Does that suit your character, really? Or are you doing it because you go on Instagram and you hear about people like me and you see...
CEO.
I
see that all the time. Day in the life of a CEO.
And they want their Pinteresty photos. And sometimes I see people, I'm like, you've been running a business for a month and already you've got your headshot. You've got your bougie desk with your papers on it. And I'm thinking, it took me 4 years to get a photo like that. And even when I was having it in the 4th year, I thought, God, this is so pretentious and fake. Because this is not what it's like.
And people don't even know. I didn't actually know what CEO meant until a couple years ago. But now people they could be a freelance social media manager, a team of one freelance, be day in the life of a CEO.
Yeah, you've got a limited company.
Like you're not running a team. You're not doing what a CEO. Like I am a CEO now. That's my job. That's my everyday job role. But I didn't call myself that until I felt like worthy of saying that.
Actually, and it sounds really patronising.
It does.
But it's not. It's just, it feels like it's being diminished. Because like you said, people say, oh, CEO of this, and you're thinking, you're not though. Like you said, you're like, it's completely different.
And I get people will have, like, I've seen people online saying like, it's not that deep, just let her call herself a CEO if she wants to call it. It's not. And like, sure, it's not that deep, but I do think like it is. They don't know how hard it is when you are that's your everyday.
And then you also think to yourself, well, what are you going to call yourself in 3 years' time if you do have a team? You can't get any higher than that. So you're sort of like, what's next? 100%.
Yeah, I very much agree with that. And I've loved having you on, Lucie. Thanks. I could speak to you all day. I think you're amazing. Aww. You've done amazing things.
Thank you.
I am very glad that you've come on. I'm sure people get loads of value from this. Have you got anything at all you want to plug, talk about, promote?
Oh, we have some new products coming out.
Amazing.
So we're bringing our cherry hair oil back in the next few weeks.
Love
cherry.
Gorge.
Stunning. And we're bringing out a leave-in conditioner.
Amazing.
That's pretty much it. Keep an eye on our socials. We're doing a pop-up event in Manchester next
Brilliant.
while.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Exciting.
so we'll be doing a lot of in-person events and stuff. So keep an eye on the socials, guys, and keep the love coming.
Yes, a love only, please. Thank you so much, Lucie.
No problem.